Yo guys, welcome back. Got another nice analysis video for you here, so let's get into it. Game settings here are Deity, Epic, Huge, Pangea Map, Raging Barbs, no tech trading or brokering, no research agreements, no ruins. And we are also using the Unique Components mod, which I have not used before. It's kind of like an additional mod for VP to add some extra stuff. And we're playing as Germany, so let's go through some of this extra stuff here. Basically, I think it just adds like 2 extra things in here. So in this case, these 2 things are like extra stuff that's been added in. So I mean, it's still basically the same game, just with a bit of extra things for you to do. So, yeah. We'll go through the normal stuff anyway, though. So, +3 culture and golden age points in the capital per city-state ally, +3 science and golden age points per friend scaling with era, and 1 additional delegate for every 3 city-state allies. This is not an amazing ability. Do you know, one thing that really kind of annoys me about it is that I'm pretty sure when you become an ally with somebody, you lose the friendship bonus. So it's kind of like you're not necessarily gaining anything by becoming an ally sometimes. I mean, usually culture is better, but not always. So I think it would be cool if it was like +2 science and golden age points, but you keep it when you're an ally as well. And, you know, this isn't really that amazing either. You're going to have to be allied to quite a few city-states to get any meaningful delegates. But anyway, then we got the Panzer. So it gets like an extra armor plating promotion. It's got an extra movement, extra combat strength, and is available a bit earlier, but still pretty late obviously because it is a tank. I'm sure it's very powerful, but yeah, late units are usually not as useful, are they? And then we got this Hansa thing. So +5 gold and 3 culture. That's already pretty nice. It's a unique customs house. I think they normally give like 3 gold as base. And that's it, I think. Plus 10% of the city's gold output is added to science. So you probably get like 3 or 4 from a decent city. Maybe 2. Plus 5% production in this city for each trade route your city civilization has with the city-state. So, do you know one thing I didn't realise about these is that actually counts for every single city. So you have 1 trade route to a city-state, that's 5% production bonus in every city you have a Hansa in, I think. I think that before I thought it was like just from that city, so I didn't think it was good, but that definitely sounds very good, because you could probably have 6 or 7 trade routes later on, so that's a lot of extra production in all your cities. Extra gold on trade routes, I think Customs House has that anyway. Yeah, so definitely a decent building, and a big upgrade on Customs Houses, which aren't really that good usually. Then you got the Ulfedin. Now this is part of the extra mod, so it's a unique warrior, 9 strength instead of 8. Much stronger against barbarians and has a chance of converting barbarian units. And gets some alliances with city-states. So that obviously sounds very useful, and it's a unique warrior, so you get it straight away. Then Teutonic Order, +1 culture and faith. Okay, it's a unique heroic epic. Does not require a barracks, but you get a free one. Okay. Castles +2 production and all barracks +2 faith. Oh, these buildings are really nice actually, that give you the bonuses on all of a certain building in your empire. This seems pretty powerful. Extra defense and stuff. Everywhere gets the morale promotion. 15 faith when you kill an enemy unit. Okay. Scaling with era. And select a reformation belief at 5% below its normal requirement. So a lot of good stuff's in there. It's kind of like a better version of an order. with a lot of other benefits as well, and you still get the free Great Writer. So yeah, basically some extra stuff for the Authority Germany play style, and then this Hanzo is kind of synergizing with statecraft. I guess industry as well. I don't think that's not a bad combo actually. I've said before I quite like the Authority into statecraft kind of combo because vassals are one of the best ways to get extra delegates, and being able to defend and also liberate city-states is another great way of getting allies. Okay, let's go through the actual game then, see what this start is. So we've got some lovely desert going on here, lots and lots of food, and salt is our resource. We've already moved these guys about a bit. So I'm obviously thinking about Spirit of the Desert, which is this one. +1 faith production and gold from desert tiles with resources, and +3 food from oases. So yeah, you don't need anything other than just the resources on desert, and you start getting the bonus straight away. And you can even settle on resources and get it. So it's definitely a nice one. I'm not a big fan of this exact spot here. I know it is right next to the oasis, which would be a nice tile to work straight away, but I quite like moving over here. There's some forests here that will actually give you a bit of extra production. There's another wheat here, a salt here. We can come up here and put a city here next. I just feel like this city is going to have too much food and not much of anything else, and therefore it won't be as useful as it could be. And there's also a lake tile here that's not bad. So I would do that. One thing I would say for here is that the 2 extra gold might actually be really good for getting more of these out, because normally you will want to buy units early on. Alright, so +50% combat strength versus barbarians, +5 influence on a conversion. So this seems like it would be very crazy with these raging barbarians. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage chance is. I don't know why these things don't tend to actually tell you what the chance is, because it would be quite useful to know. Yeah, let's settle here though. Guess we should look around a bit first. Okay, loads more desert stuff up here then. Spirit of the Desert definitely seeming pretty good. We'll settle that here. So building, I would probably go for a shrine first in order to get the Spirit of Desert online as quickly as possible, since it is quite a nice pantheon to have straight away, since it starts working straight away. Monument would also be really good though, given we can do that. We should be able to kill a lot of barb units with this guy and any other warriors we can get. Usually you can kind of get away with waiting, because the main culture you get from Authority, from the first Authority policy, so the culture when you kill units and clear barbarian camps, a lot of that you get a lot more for the barb camps than you do for the units. So as long as you don't kill any barb camps, you can get them ready so that once you have the policy, you instantly kill the barb camps and you can catch up on culture that way. Whereas sometimes if you go monument straight away, you won't be ready. The alternative is to go for Stonehenge. Stonehenge, if you build Stonehenge, you're kind of like... So it's like either Stonehenge or 2 other things, kind of, because it's 225 production. Shrine costs 97. One of these would cost 48. I feel like getting some of them out earlier. rather than wasting time on the Stonehenge is probably a better idea. And we shouldn't need first Pantheon, which Stonehenge can be good for getting. It might be good though. I would also say Petra seems like something worth going for here. Extra trade route works well with the Hansa thing, and you get the +1 gold on all desert tiles, which we obviously have quite a few of. So I wouldn't want to build another wonder before going into Petra, because it has the thing where it increases the cost. Does it say that? Well, it increases the cost of wonders in the same era by 25%, so you can end up spending a lot of production on that stuff when you could have more of the warriors and settlers and stuff like that. So yes, I think I would go trapping first, even though we're unlikely to find any bison. Maybe there could be some deer, maybe an archer would be useful, and just get into trade. Would also be good to find some more resources with the Desert Pantheon, but we should have enough tiles for the moment, because we've got the salt and wheat, and potentially an oasis will want to work as well. Let's just play a little bit, see if we can get one of those conversions. Okay, I've got 2 of these guys. I bought another one. I would probably get another one soon enough. And alright, so I've killed quite a few units, so I don't know what the probability is. Probably like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. That was my 4th unit I killed. Cool thing is though, you get to keep these promotions here. Normally you don't get to keep promotions on units that you've captured, but for some reason with these guys it seems like you do. So yeah, I mean double movement on desert and double movement in the hills. That's pretty damn cool actually. So they could be pretty good. I guess we will skip ahead a bit. I suppose I'll play on a bit and get a feel for the game, and then we will look at what you did. Okay, here we are. So I ended up playing quite a lot actually. It was pretty fun doing all this stuff with all these units and stealing units. Definitely quite enjoyable with the raging barb. So pretty much this whole army is stolen units, and then just one dude who created them all. Pretty cool stuff. Yes, I did end up getting a religion with a Desert Pantheon, turn 136. Which is a pretty safe one. I think I kind of overestimated how quickly the AIs would do their religions, because this is actually the 2nd religion. And I did go a bit crazy with the spamming cities to get the desert resources, to get the faith. Particularly this city over here is potentially a bit of an overkill. It does have a couple of nice resources. And the Zulus did settle a city here, which is definitely quite annoying. As it's very, very close to the capital, and it is the Zulus. But yeah, because I prioritise these cities, maybe I should have put a city there first. I'm not really too bothered about Lake Victoria, but it's just like strategically, it's a bit annoying. I probably could have had some more city-state friends and alliances. I kind of forgot about the unique ability of Germany, which probably is worth, like, if you can get an alliance. I mean, it's +3 culture in the early game is pretty useful. I think I took some tributes instead. Like, I actually had an alliance with Cahokia, and I got rid of it just so I could tribute them. But the production, getting bonus production, is actually very useful, and I think I used it on one of the wonders because I built Petra and Terracotta Army, which is nice. So here I've got a decent army. I guess I should bring them back, get some workers up and do roads and everything, try and get all the resources improved, And France definitely looks like a possible attack. Although these woods are actually very annoying. I guess could come around this way or something. But either way, they're a little bit spread out and stuff, so it probably would be possible to get them. Seem like they're doing too well. And this city, I would like to take this city off the Zulus, like I said, just for strategic. Although I would rather not war the Zulus in general. Looks like it would be pretty hard to actually make any progress in there. And in terms of the religion, I had a little think about what I would do, and I would actually probably go for this one. This map seems pretty enormous. Like, look at how much space we've got. No one is even really close. We could easily put quite a few more cities, so could all of these guys. There's going to be so many cities to convert. And we're out there quite early, so we could start doing that. I think each missionary is probably about... You could probably get like 10 followers from each missionary with the 2 spreads, so 250 culture and food. This is on epic, so it would be 375 because it would be times by 1.5. So definitely a reasonable amount. I mean, if we could get the conquest going, this would obviously be good. It looks like it would be quite difficult though, apart from on France. But if it started working, that would obviously be very good. And then a couple of others, maybe Way of Transcendence is also nice. Maybe this one, with converting a lot of cities. And Follow a Belief, I would actually go for Pagodas. A huge Pangaea map means 7 religions that will probably all have like pressure going throughout the map. So you could easily have 5, 6, maybe even 7 yields per city. 7 of each yield per city is pretty insane. Obviously orders a nice 2. But I think Pagodas is a little bit better. And we have the kind of fake order anyway. And do you know what else I would probably do? Is think about getting a Abode of Peace with the whole starting to convert everyone strategy. Especially convert the city-states and get this. That would give the guaranteed friendship thing so that we could get the unique ability and 20% rewards from city-state quests. And yeah, probably would think about statecraft. Definitely would seem good. The trade route and the influence of city-states, but obviously fealty opener would be nice as well for the cheaper missionaries. So that is what I would do, but yeah, let's have a look at what you did. Alright, here we are. I just forgot to mention, I would have tried to get Angkor Wat. I was getting writing, I think I had masonry and stuff, and also potentially would have tried to get Hagia Sophia or Bourbadar with that strategy. But yeah, here we are. This is your game here. So let's read the email or a bit of it. So, game plan. Go for domination victory. Get as many city-state allies as possible to leverage the UA and hands of trade routes. I wanted to go statecraft to support this. I also went for Petra to get the extra trade route with 2 Ulfadin unique units from the more unique components mod, giving most of my army from Barb conversions. I went discipline first, then left side of authority, then finished. Usually I would go left side first, but with Barb conversions I thought discipline is worth going first. Yes, I actually did a similar thing. Wait. Okay, so I went for dominance first, and then I went into tribute and then Imperium. Discipline first. I mean, so you get the +2 culture and +1 happiness from the garrisons. I guess it is decent. I mean, this made sense because there was just so many units to kill. Barbarians. And yeah. I feel like in mine, by the time I got I was like, I had just got that, so like, I was just gonna bring my units back and start garrisoning them, because I needed the units out there. These policies are really, really good, man. But I mean, if you were garrisoning your cities, it probably is worth doing this. Like 5 or 6 cities, that's 10 or 12 culture per turn, quite a lot early on. But I think I had Imperium by the time I was doing a couple of my settles, so get a pretty nice bonus from that. And this policy is just really good, especially because with this, when you settle a new city, you instantly get a border pop in the city that you just settled. So it instantly gets the extra production and gold. It helps start building buildings and stuff. I think I did a couple of tributes as well, so I wanted to go for that. But fair enough. That is what you did. Current state, in this version, AIs declare on me over and over again. This makes it very hard to get city-state alliances up. AIs get alliances first, and then city-states keep declaring on me. That cancels the quest that I would use to get an alliance. Also, city-state trade routes are hard to keep. Yeah, that is annoying, man. The AI is cancelling the quest by declaring, and yeah, killing trade routes as well. Very, very annoying stuff. So, your cities, you actually settled in the exact same place as me. Great minds, eh? Which obviously I do agree with. And then the rest of your cities are quite spread out. You did manage to get this Lake Victoria settle. I believe this is on a hill. Yeah, so that's a pretty nice place to have a city against Zulus, and getting the castle there, which makes a lot of sense. That will be a great border to defend against the Zulus from. And yeah, you settled quite like some cities over here, and yeah, you didn't go for Spirit of the Desert, which makes the desert not as good. And you went for God of War as well, but did get a religion. There was really a lot of units to kill, so I can see why you did that. I'm not sure I like it too much though, because you can see like I said, without the Spirit of the desert is kind of not amazing to settle on. So you've had to settle kind of quite spread out. And I just don't think God of War gives you enough, because it basically only gives faith. Like, the 10% production towards units is not really going to give you that much. I'm sure you'd get more production from Spirit of the Desert. Or if you didn't like Spirit of the Desert, Tutelary Gods might have been one to consider as well. Though then you may have struggled to get the religion, because it doesn't give a huge amount of faith. So, I don't know. Well, there is an Isabella, so maybe she went for it anyway. But yeah, I just think you could have had the faith and something else from taking Spirit of the Desert, or maybe one of the other pantheons like God of the Expanse or something. I just don't think God of War is generally that good. But we did get a religion, so found a belief way of the Pilgrim. Quite a reasonable one. It's not as good as it used to be. Back on the old patches, the AIs used to grow their cities quite ridiculously, and it basically does scale with the population because it's 15 tourism and culture per follower of another religion, so basically scales with population. There is this quite nice Netherlands city over here though. You've got the food pantheon, and asceticism. So Netherlands could be a good place to send some missionaries. Potentially you didn't have full choice though, because I assume the religion wasn't too early with God of War. I'm sure you will get some nice culture and stuff from that though, so it may well work out, but I assume it will take a while before you're able to start doing that. Then we've got orders and mosques, and then zealotry. So reasonable stuff. Orders obviously pretty good, and yeah, zealotry as well. I mean, gonna have a lot to spend the faith on, but should have a lot of faith as well with all the orders and that building thing, with the +2 faith to all the barracks as well. So war should give you a lot of faith here. Okay. Other thing is, there is this other religion, which is from Zulus, right? So this religion actually has cathedrals and pagodas, which are both incredibly good. You basically have like the 4 best buildings, which is very, very cool. So I would definitely prioritize getting some of these pagodas. I think it shows on Munich. So that 5 from religion there is actually 5 from the pagodas. So you're getting 5 from each yield in Munich, just for having the pagodas. I guess it's since you have at least one follower of 5 different religions. Very, very nice there. And you did go for authority into fealty, which I definitely like. I think that makes a lot of sense given that you want the missionaries. It actually doesn't apply to zealotry, but the missionaries and all the buildings that you can get that will give you a big amount of boost, and then you can also get the monasteries as well. So I like that you did that. Let's have a little check of the great works. Have you arranged your great works? Well, it doesn't matter, there's only one anyway. Alright, well I can't criticise that, I suppose. Although it might have been good to have another one. Good idea to get the second writer after you get the free one, because it doesn't take too long with a Writers Guild. An amphitheatre in one city, and then you get like plus... I don't know, what do you get? Probably plus 10 culture in total from having another great work. And the theming bonus. Okay, where are we at on science? So we have just finished off medieval era, starting in the Renaissance era. So I would say we are a little bit behind on the culture in terms of where we are in science, because if you look at these, they require 10 policies. So we are on 7, about to be 8. So at some point would have been good to get some more culture. Probably getting a Writers Guild somewhere would have been a good way to do that. Everybody else is... yes, so equal there, kind of equal with a few, and then kind of behind a few of them as well. Okay, well, what are the spies doing then? We've got 2 spies, and we're already getting 2 tech skills from them. Wow. Does he actually have something? Yeah, I mean, you'll have to check what you're able to steal. Surely we want to be stealing gunpowder, really, at this point. Gunpowder seems like the most useful one, so you might want to research something else and steal gunpowder. I mean, the spies are in Venice and Amsterdam. These guys are not tech leaders. There is a bit of a trade-off. Okay, I'm sure this was higher potential when you put it here. Although Venice does have the building that gives a spy defense straight away. So probably you want to move this one over to Babylon, because they're the tech leader and they will have a lot more techs for you to choose. Like, you could be sure that you could steal gunpowder. Here you have to try and figure out what Netherlands and Venice actually have. Perhaps they actually don't have gunpowder. But if you were spying on Babylon, you would be able to steal gunpowder for sure, as long as it succeeded, and that would be a big help. Doesn't seem like civil service was really that necessary. Maybe you got it for stealing purposes though, so I don't really know. But gunpowder seems like the most important thing we could possibly get here. Okay, what have you been building? We have got Stonehenge, Petra, and Terracotta Army. Okay, so you did go Stonehenge, so you definitely could have chosen any Pantheon then. Petra as well. Yep, I see smarts of that, and Terracotta Army. Yeah, pretty good wonders. Usually quite gettable as well, so nice ones to go for, and obviously pretty useful. So, what have we got going on with buildings? Okay, so we've got like the arenas, barracks, forge stuff, a library here. I mean, I can't really criticize particularly what you've built, other than maybe a writer's guild would have been good somewhere instead of one of the libraries. Probably culture a bit more useful than science, generally. And like I said, with one great work of writing, you would have a lot more culture. It seems just like we're a little bit behind though on the buildings. I don't know exactly why, but for whatever reason, we should have more buildings. Like, yeah, we've got the basics, but nothing else really. And we are in Renaissance era, like no stables. We're building the handlers, which will be pretty good. I guess you had to get the markets everywhere for that. And there's quite a few of these national wonders still on the table. Circus Maximus and School of Philosophy would be very good as well. You've just settled this city, it seems, so that's probably what's preventing you from being able to build these, because you need a certain pot. Like, it increases with your number of cities, so probably without this you would either be able to build them now or with another pot. I guess you wanted this iron, but is it really that urgent? There's still 2 more iron in Frankfurt, apparently. Yeah. And, yeah, it might have been good to get the national wonders first. We ain't far away from banking. Could have built with a pioneer, so it was a bit better straight away. Also, probably just need to go through and choose some of these tiles. I know it is annoying to do it every turn, but like, seems like some of these squares could be better. This one isn't very good, is it? You can't really trust the governor to choose the best squares, so now would probably be a good time to go through and choose what you want to be working. Getting a happy would also help you to grow a bit more, because most of these cities look like they could do with some more citizens. There are some resources on the table. Probably buying 1 or 2 of them would be good there. Okay, we got no trade routes. I'm guessing quite a few of them got pillaged. Ooh, other people trading with us though. I guess we actually get quite a lot from that. Wow, Zulus, loads of trade routes. Very interesting. Yeah, so you probably got some pillaged, especially from this city. Obviously you don't want to allow this to happen. I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but yeah, so, I mean, you could have obviously bought this tile. Like, it's good to think about these things before they happen, that anywhere over 3 range from your cities could be settled in. So they could have put a city here or here or here, but obviously blocking that would have stopped them. I probably would have just done it early, earlier than I needed, especially if you had a bit of spare money, just so that I wouldn't forget at the time. But yeah, now it's happened, you will obviously have to deal with that, and we're also at war with France as well. So, we managed to get some barbarian longswordsmen, that's pretty cool, with the bonuses as well. Barbarian crossbowmen. Interesting. Where are your unique units? We've got one here. I might have built a few more of them, because I'm guessing they went obsolete at steel. It's always going to be good to have more of those unique units that can steal barbs, because I know a lot of the barb camps have stopped spawning at this point in the game, but you can still get those events. Okay, and none going on, the city-state ones. That could be a lot of barbs. And I guess you could also farm them if you deliberately had your happiness really bad. Maybe that's a bit abusive, but I mean, normally when your happiness is bad, you'll get 5 or more lancers spawning or something like that, or knights. I mean, you could steal some of them, just keep the army going without having to build stuff. Also, we don't have a medic. I guess Dun might not be super useful, but would be good to have one at some point. I usually, it seems like the scout has been lost, or maybe he's just away somewhere, but that's usually would be the medic, or I would build one of these guys who make quite good medics. They can move around well and still attack if you need them to without being in danger from the less defense you get from a medic. And I would say also some knights would really do the trick here. All this flat land and everything's quite spread out, so it would be good to be able to get around quickly. Knights could definitely be very useful. And that's where Paris was on mine. Well, I guess I'd had the cities further this way instead of them though. But yeah, I mean that looks like a takeable city. Okay, let's read the rest of the email and talk about how to continue with this game. So, how I would go from here. Forget statecraft and go fealty. I have God of War, Orders and Zealotry. More unique components mod gives me a national wonder that gives more faith on kills. Basically double God of War. So once I convert all my cities back and get orders everywhere, I can faith buy most units. I should probably peace out with France. I had taken the cities to half HP but was driven back by superior numbers. I would then clear out Harlequinasus. First AI to take out should still be France, but I need more units for that. And I should hope that Shaka stays at peace. Alright, so on the topic of... Okay, let's go back. So, forget statecraft and go fealty. Let's talk about the policy choices. Like I said, fealty, I see why you went for it. And now you have the choice between finishing it off or going into statecraft instead. So, this is quite a nice policy. Would help you get the castles and armories out, and the plus happiness would be good for you as well, although you could easily buy some resources. This, not like you have that many pastures or that many plots. Basically, none of the other policies are that useful. The finisher is nice, where you get the extra yields for every city following your majority religion. Statecraft, though, I think is still going to be more useful in the long run. The first policy won't do much. These spies, though, man, I think these spies will really do a lot for you this game. I mean, you can see how much tech you're already getting from them. I think with the policy you'll get either +3 or +2 spies. There's loads of civs that are ahead on tech that you could potentially spy on, try and get some tech steals. And you could also put spies in city-states to get friendships with them, to get the unique ability bonus. So I think you gotta think, like, yes, fealty would be good in the short run. It depends kind of how much pressure you feel under here. Like, are the Zulus likely to attack? How much do you need to take out France? I mean, Greece. Are they going to bring another army? Is France going to be a problem if they attack? Like, if you need stuff now, then yeah, you want to go fealty, but I think in the long run, statecraft will still give you more. Generally. Though it will be a shame to not finish it off. It's just a lot of these policies in fealty don't do too much. But I'll leave that choice for you. I have God of War and Zealotry, and more unique opponents mod gives me a national wonder that gives faith on kills, basically double God of War. So once I convert all my cities back and get orders everywhere, I can faith by most units. Okay, on that, so I would not convert your cities back until you have these orders at the pagodas and cathedrals. I think they will be very good for you. And you could also even use a missionary here, or let it convert, and then get the buildings, then convert everything back and get orders and mosques before you start buying units. I mean, obviously buy what you need, but I would try not to until you've got all the buildings up. That would be kind of the best play in the long run. And then potentially you could start with the missionaries as well. Bear in mind, if you're unhappy, the faith units will cost more to purchase, so try and make sure you're happy when you do that. And I guess you'd want the armories as well, the armory in the city as well, for max experience. And then once you convert your cities, you should be fairly close to getting this, and you can choose your Reformation belief. A couple of them are gone. The Amphitheatre one. Okay, Crusader Spirit is gone, that's a bit of a shame. Science 1 is gone. And Glory of God is gone as well. So, I guess there is a Defender of the Faith. The ones that give bonuses with city-state things are generally not that good. Maybe Inspired Works could do something, though you don't have too many great people stuff at the moment. There's only one, isn't there? There's an academy somewhere. But Defender of the Faith would give you some decent bonuses as well. I mean, that'll probably be maybe +2 faith, +4 culture, and help you with the units in your land. And then talking about, I should probably peace out with France. I'd taken a city to half HP, but was driven back by superior numbers. I would then clear out Harlequinatus. First AI to take out would still be France, but I need more units for that. And I should hope that Shaka stays at peace. Ironically, he's the only AI that did not declare on me yet, even though I forward sailed him to get Lake Victoria. Well, he didn't really. I mean, that's just what we're conditioned to think, because the AIs get so uptight about you putting a city anywhere near them. I mean, it's much closer to your capital, really. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were still annoyed somewhat about that. I mean, you sound like you know what you're chatting about with the military stuff, so I can't add too much to that, other than, yeah, get some knights, I think, and maybe a medic. Zulus, they do have a lot of trade routes with you, so they might actually be encouraged to not attack. I would still, yeah, build this castle here anyway, just to be ready if they do. And yeah, obviously take this city. I don't think there's any rush to take France, honestly. It looks like you'll be able to get it done eventually, and I'm not sure, like, what taking them right now would do compared to taking them later. Because you could, like I said, get all the buildings first before you start faith purchasing unit to help you take the city. But try not to lose any more units, I guess, as well. Though we're near force limit anyway somehow. Seems like it should be a bit higher. Okay, I think it's not a lost game yet. What I mostly dislike about this game is the constant declarations of war make it impossible to get much out of Germany's unique ability and the Hansas. In the past version, the Hansa gave massive production boost in wide empire. It does make this very hard to use now. Looking forward to your thoughts. Okay, so yeah, I agree, it's not a lost game. On the subject of the declarations of war, I think they will generally slow down as you get later in the game. That's been my experience at least. You're not really doing anything to piss people off, so I don't know why they would continue to attack you. Although I suppose you will be taking the city and potentially this one off France. But like I said, I would expect them to stop with all the just random war declarations constantly. So I would still try and get with the city-state trade routes going. It definitely will be worth it with the Hansas and the trade routes. And you could really do with building up your economy in your cities quite a lot. You could probably be getting some, at least, friendships. There's this mission for copper, which Denmark is offering, and some other missions as well. I don't know what that is, but I guess you could do it. And being friends with people is worth it because you already get the science and golden age points from that. I'm guessing it's +9 at this point. Yeah, 9 science from city-states. That'll be from the fact that you're friends with one. So each city-state you can become friends with is a +9. Yeah, not unwinnable though. Once you've cleaned stuff up a bit, and if you can make some progress in France, that obviously could start you snowballing. There's quite an easy target of Netherlands up here as well, if you could get through to them. Obviously everyone's defensively pacted, so you might have to just stay at war with France. Yes. So that you don't have to attack them. But there could be some easier targets through here. It's a bit of a shame that you don't really want to be killing city-states, because that's normally a good way to go if you're a bit stuck in an authority game. But I think with France you should be able to start doing some trade routes, and if you get them as a vassal, maybe you can start thinking about some diplomatic kind of stuff, or I might have to transition into like a science victory or something. Oh my god, dude. You're already getting sanctioned. That's no fun. That's next turn as well. Wow. Well, I would just buy all of these resources then, actually. I did not notice that before. Buy every resource you can right now, because surely you have tobacco. I don't know why it's offering it. But if you buy them all now, once you get sanctioned, the deals are not cancelled, I believe. They're like, you just can't make any new deals. Man, that would suck. Tough one, man. tough one, but good luck with it. Or there is another way. Pause the video, guys. Let me know if what you think it is that I haven't mentioned yet. That would be a strategy for winning this game. Alright. Are you ready, guys? Sacred sites, mate. So, all hotels and buildings purchased with faith, +3 tourism each. World and natural wonders, +4 tourism each. Hermitage, +10 culture, and +10 tourism. So, you got the buildings from Protestantism, the buildings from Asgard. That's 4 faith buildings. Monasteries also count. That's 5 per city. You have got 7 cities right now. So 5 buildings times 3, that's 15 tourism per city. 105 tourism in your empire. It will be decreased by, I think, 30% because of your number of non-pocketed cities, but that's not actually too much. So you will still be making a hefty amount of tourism. You got 2 natural wonders as well, +4 tourism each, and 3 wonders as well. So that's another +4 tourism for each of them. So total 135, and then 30, and then minus 30%. And there is another religion over here of Hinduism, which has another building and hasn't chosen an enhancer belief yet. And there's a reasonable chance they actually will choose another building there, because there are still a couple of buildings remaining, and most of the follower beliefs that aren't buildings seem to have been chosen already. So that could be another 2 buildings in each city, if you can get that religion as well. There is also this statecraft policy, consulates. So every time you complete a trade route to a city-state, receive a tourism boost. And I think it basically works like a historic event, which are normally like when you get a great person or enter a new era or build a wonder, you get a tourism boost, and it's based on your tourism output. So every time you complete a trade route with a city-state, you'll get the tourism boost. That will be based on your tourism output, which should be very high. So that's some bonuses. A lot of World Congress proposals, if you can just get a few delegates, which, again, you get some more delegates here. I mean, being sanctioned. Oh, that would not be good, man. That would not be good at all. But there are a lot of policies that you can get. World religion is one. It actually doesn't get NAID quite so spectacular as it used to get, so it's actually possible to get it passed. There's some other ones that give tourism as well. There is the passport system. Might be possible to get that passed. Not sure if that one does, but there's the international games as well. Even just the bronze award or the silver for like a writer or a musician. With the extra spies as well, you can steal great works for extra tourism. That does start to add up also. And anyone who you need extra tourism with, you can use your missionaries on. So, man, I really do think it is the way to go. Who's going to be highest in tourism? So, I mean, look at these guys, man. They're all making... Okay, I think he's got a unique building for it, so he's making 35. You'd be on like over 100. And it does start to add up if you get it like going at this early point. So get all the buildings, get the Reformation, go for sacred sites. You will have to keep this as your religion in all your cities, bear in mind you should actually buy an Inquisitor here right now before it flips. And then you may never be able to get one again, or you'll have to wait for a great profit so that you can convert your cities back to Asgard. And the other thing you will need is a lot of culture, because you need to get to your 2 tier 3 ideology policies. So again, the missionaries will give you more, but you will have to start building some of the guilds. And obviously you do get culture and faith and stuff from warring, so that will be useful as well. There's also the World's Fair that you can get proposed also. That's a free policy and a culture boost, even if you don't win it. And I think you will be able to also focus culture a lot, because there is a good chance you'll be able to just keep stealing a lot of texts, which will keep you caught up on science. In terms of policies, yeah, I mean, you need all the statecraft ones, so I would go for that. Probably industry would make the most sense, but probably you could argue for any of these. And there's a lot of ideology policies that give more tourism as well. I guess mostly autocracy and freedom are a bit better. Corporation, 2k foods is actually one of the nicest ones for tourism if you can get it, because the broadcast towers give 1 tourism for every 2 citizens in a city, so if you get them to grow big, they get a lot of tourism. And you also do get the -5 to needs modifiers that helps you stay happy even with the high population. And then obviously there's this one as well. If you can get that, that would obviously help with the culture. Like I said though, man, I think that is going to have to be the way. I genuinely would recommend trying to do that. There was the Spain game I did a couple of games ago, and we had the tourism victory done by 3:30. That's not going to be possible here, obviously, because this is a huge map, and we're not going to get the amount of faith that you do from being Spain that really helped with it. And the cities aren't as big, but like, you have a lot more turns than 300 to get it done before the others will start winning. Tourism really does start ramping up in late game as well. Oh yeah, you can also use spies as diplomats with people to increase your tourism, and you should also get open borders. Probably try and do it right now. They need open borders with you for the tourism boost. So, in case you get sanctioned, and then you can't do it. I mean, if you get sanctioned, that is going to make this game very rough, no matter what you try and do in it. But it's your best attempt, I think. Unless you can start snowballing with conquering. But this is such a huge map, I don't think domination victory is ever going to be a thing. It's going to have to be a transition into diplomatic, or like I said, do the tourism thing. Yeah. Just kind of ran through everything I could think of there. I think that is everything I have to say here. So, good luck with the game. I don't know if you already played it, because we did have some issues with the patch, so it might not even be that useful, but hope that it was useful for someone. Got to keep your mind open for all of these possible strategies, because there usually is one in there somewhere, but obviously there's so many like variables in this game, it's hard to keep a track of all of them, like Congress things, religion, beliefs, policies, ideologies, everything. But yeah, man, appreciate you sending this one in. Let me know what you think about the strategy, guys, if you think it would work, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to get your games analysed as well. Definitely, this unique components mod seems quite interesting. I may have to try it in the future. But for now, we are doing the Songhai series, so I will see you there, guys.